We are learning Living Emunah. We're up to chapter 22. He calls it Don't Lose Hope. Hashem is the Matzmiach Yeshua. He is the one, he who makes salvation sprout. And what does that mean? Why is Hashem called that he makes salvation sprout? So he says here is because something that sprouts, right? You put a seed in the ground and it starts decaying and it starts getting worse. And you look at it, if you're not a farmer, you're looking at the process and you're going, whoa, I put something in the ground that was okay, it looked okay, and now it's getting all dirty and decaying and coming apart, and nothing's growing out of it, and then you see suddenly something starts growing. And that was all part of the process of growth. And that too, he says, is what happens in our lives. Sometimes something's not going well, and we start davening, and we start saying, Hashem, help me here, and it's getting worse. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And then suddenly, as it's getting the peak, as it's getting so bad, that's when it starts getting better. But that's all part of the process. That's all part of the process how Hashem works. That Hashem is Matzmiach Yeshua, the salvation sprouts. And even as we think it's getting worse, Hashem is already helping us, is already setting the stage, setting the table for it to get better. And the more that our prayers intensify, Hashem is getting worse and worse and worse, then suddenly it just gets better. And all those things that were seemingly to us getting worse were preparation for it to become salvation, preparation for the tables to turn. And maybe that's why Hashem, we say that Hashem, Yeshua's Hashem Keref Ayin, the salvation of Hashem comes in an instant. And of course, that's because it can come in an instant. Hashem can do anything. But part of the reason also maybe because the process that generally happens is like a seed. That things get a little bit worse. And we think they're getting much worse. We think they're going in the wrong direction, but they're really going in the right direction. And then suddenly, it just sprouts. Suddenly, we see it growing. And all the things that we thought it was getting worse, it was really getting better. And so he says, so when we're praying, when we're davening, and things seem to be getting worse, we have to know that Hashem is already setting the table for the redemption, for our personal redemption, and of course for the bigger redemptions. But Hashem is already setting the table and setting in motion what is happening, what needs to happen for the salvation to sprout. And so even though we think we see things getting worse, we should always know that it's getting better. It's getting closer to the point where it's going to be easier for us.